Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get into today's collective and start seeing what the theme is. We've got forgiveness, reducing burden. Okay. The message for today's collective and jack-o'-lantern, protection. Overall energy is vampire, emotional intelligence. Okay. So let's read these messages. Let's start with the vampire. So the vampire says, whilst there are almost uncountable examples of vampires in literature, movies, and games, somehow the archetype of the blood-hunting, night-stalking, and somewhat elegant creature keeps being reinvented to seduce yet another generation. Although the beautiful, yet somewhat desirable vampire form doesn't really begin to enter the public consciousness until the mid-1800s, the idea of a human feeding upon the very stuff of life is very much older. The Egyptians, Sumerians, Indians, and the Balkan people all have mythos containing vampire-like creatures. The vampire is an interesting figure because it is both horrifying and desirable. Having someone want us so much that they desire to be that closely linked with us does feel good until we realize there's nothing much left of us to give. Most of us have heard of the concept of emotional vampirism, the idea that people feed off our energy and our goodwill and take advantage of us through manipulation and their incessant neediness. Should the vampire card appear in your reading, it may indicate that you are being drained in this way, and the time has come for stronger boundaries. We need to be very aware of what gives us energy in our lives and what takes it away. We should be aware of needing people to need us, and why we invite people like this into our homes, workplaces, and lives, if indeed we have them around us. Developing the emotional intelligence within ourselves helps us defend against this kind of emotional and psychic attack and enables us to foster healthy, equal relationships of all kinds. That is a good point. Forgiveness. Let's see. This one says, being a cold season festival, Halloween is the perfect time to pause and think about how things actually are in our lives and what heavy burdens we do not wish to carry through these harder, leaner times. Some of this heavy-heartedness may relate to old relationships or grievances. Some may relate to negative feelings we hold on to tightly about others, and even a lack of compassion for the mistakes we have ourselves made. It is said that it takes a big person to apologize, but in many ways it takes an even bigger person to forgive. When we hold grudges, the negative energy is incredibly toxic. It is like drinking a poison expecting the other unforgiven person to die. Whilst we may even harbor feelings of revenge, and to be honest, that does feel good for a while, it is important that we move those feelings along to forgiveness and release as soon as possible for our own health and well-being. If you have chosen this card, think about who it is that you could be forgiving, and that includes yourself. Very good. And jack-o'-lantern. All right. Now this one says, Halloween wouldn't be the same without the carving of pumpkins into scary jack-o'-lanterns. Glowing menacingly from porches, dinner tables, and porches everywhere, jacks actually have a rich history and a spiritual bent. The original term for a jack-o'-lantern was a will-o'-the-wisp, an old British term. The will-o'-the-wisp was a small bundle of sticks used as a flame or torch. The Celts, the Irish, and those living in the Scottish Highlands all carved winter vegetables. Not just pumpkins, but also parsnips, carrots, or beets. The time around Samhain, or Halloween, was of course when the fae and goblins were said to be roaming wild, and so the lanterns were intended to be both scary, scaring off the undesirable, and to light the way in the dark. Today, carving pumpkin jack-o'-lanterns has become an art in itself and a true icon of Halloween. Intricate designs, both scary and funny, can be found in almost every home that celebrates the holiday. Both electric light and candles now illuminate the inside of the lanterns. Know that you are protected, and that you are capable of creating the life that you want, and that the universe supports you in this should Jack shine his light upon you. Boundaries are important to teach people how to treat us, and drawing this card indicates that you may wish to renew the ones you have or to establish new ones. Okay, so we saw boundaries being highlighted twice. I don't know if this is because there is somebody that you feel is draining your energy. I love the point that this card made because This is something I caught within myself. I used to be fascinated by the concept of vampires until I did understand that the reason that fascinated me was because I had a lot of wounds that made me need to be needed. And at that level where you are their life source, it feels amazing to be needed to that level. But eventually, it leads to feeling drained. It feels, you do reach the point where you're like, okay, I can't give anymore. I have to stop giving. And so I feel like somebody here is reaching that point where they're like, I have to forgive myself for putting myself in the spot where I needed to be needed to this point, but I need to protect myself with stronger boundaries. Let's see. Tell us about today's collective. 3 of Cups. Tell us about today's collective. The 6 of Cups. Ooh, wow. Okay. The 4 of Cups, the 8 of Wands, the Knight of Wands, the Moon. The 10 of Swords. The 7 of Pentacles, the 8 of Swords, the Death card, wow. The High Priestess. The one that flipped over is the Page of Swords reversed. All right. The Hanged Man. The Lovers. The 9 of Wands. The 6 of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Wands. 2 of Swords. 10 of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. I would say that somebody here is, we see endings, right, on the table very clearly. Endings, but even with the endings, somebody here is hesitating about completing a cycle, completing something. I think at one point they really felt that the person that needs them this way was their soulmate. This was, well, I think that they are soulmates. We do have 6 of Cups on the table. But they might have felt this was their twin flame, and now they're realizing, no, that is not. 9 of Wands. I need to protect myself. I need to put boundaries. I need to not give too much because there's an imbalance. Only one person is giving and the other is only receiving. And we have a Queen of Pentacles and a Queen of Wands. So this could be somebody that this person sees as the perfect spouse. They're possibly very passionate, very fiery. But they're realizing now with the 2 of Swords that they were in denial. It's like they had focused on seeing the best qualities of this person. Without realizing if this was really giving them stability. Yeah, look at that Wheel of Fortune. This was destiny, though. Fate brought these 2 people together. And it had to lead to this. Because I feel like whoever it is that's making this decision, could be a Knight of Wands. Whoever it is that's making this decision to end the connection, there's a mix here. Where again, I feel like at one point they really needed to be needed in this way, in this desperate, you're my life source type of way. They loved it. They ate it up. But with time, they realized this is very uneven. I'm like the only person giving because I'm not a vampire. So they're going to have to start releasing the burdens, but setting boundaries may be new to this person. And they're really struggling with it. Because it's almost like they feel guilt because they got this person used to being able to drain them, and now they're going to pull back. And the vampire may see it as a betrayal. But it's saying if the vampire does see it as a betrayal, just keep in mind you are protected. So, Three of Cups. This may have started off as a friendship, and it grew to more. It grew towards a feeling of soulmates. The 4 and the 3 leads to the 7. There was a feeling of almost like a fantasy. It felt like a fantasy come to life, where you felt like, wow, I really am desired the way I've always wanted to be desired. I'm needed. I'm wanted that much. And for a moment, it led to the 10 of Cups, the art of emotional fulfillment. With the 8 of Wands, this might have been like a whirlwind romance. A very quick, it progressed quite fast. But we have a Knight of Wands. That was pleasing to them. They're somebody who moves fast. They're not the most patient person. But followed by the Moon and the 10 of Swords. And remember, we had the 10 of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune over here, as well as the Lovers. So they were meant to feel this huge attraction. They were meant to feel this, they were in this place of like, yes, drain me dry, suck the life out of me. Because maybe this person was super attractive, super elegant, super sexy. What they didn't see was how that leads to codependency, how that leads to a lot of imbalance in the connection. And they realized this is actually just a lot of physical attraction. Like, I thought I was in love, but I'm not. And the more that they learn about, I need my space, I need my time, my growth, it's like they don't want this anymore. And they feel guilt for not wanting it anymore. But 7 of Pentacles, they want to invest, they want to build. It's almost like, think of it like this vampire is somebody who maybe they constantly need sex. They need something from this person. And initially, this is somebody who's like, baby girl, baby boy, you can interrupt me at any time of the day and ask me for this. It's yours. I am yours. But as more and more time progressed, that sounds great. But initially, it sounds great. Later on, let's say this person has a business, right? And it becomes a constant. In the middle of meetings, they'll get called out because this person has a need. They have a client coming into town and they're having dinner, lunch with them. In the middle of that, they get a phone call. This person has a need. Like, it starts becoming a burden. It stops becoming a joy, and it starts becoming more of like, oh my God, not this again. Because I feel like this Knight, initially, this was their fantasy come true. This was a dream come true. But they're changing. They're transforming. They're not going to be a Knight forever. And the more that they morph out of the Knight energy, this is starting to become a burden. And they feel guilty because they're like, I promised this person that they could drain me dry. But now I feel trapped. Now I feel like I don't know what to do because I want to grow. I don't just want to be their food supply the rest of my life. We've got a High Priestess here, but I don't know if that's them. And maybe they're stepping into their intuitive side. If that's this Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands, who's also very intuitive. Or if this is someone else. We'll see. But with the Page of Swords reversed, emotionally, somebody knows that they're done. As in, they don't want to be the I'm thinking of the expression, for those of you who were readers of the Twilight series. Was it Twilight? Oh my God, I'm forgetting. I think it was, wasn't it? Anyways, the there's a space where I think it's where she's pregnant, and they bring her a bag of blood, and it says that she starts drinking it like it's a Capri Sun. I feel like this person is done being the Capri Sun of this vampire. They're like, I want to be more. I don't want to just be your little pouch of blood. And initially it was sexy. Initially it was attractive. Initially it was a fantasy. It was a dream come true. It was everything they wanted. And now they're like, okay, I'm tired. I'm drained. They still care about this person. But now their wish with the Nine of Cups here is to be alone. Their wish is to disconnect from this. Let's see. Let's clarify the Hangman. Because they made themselves a martyr. They made themselves the sacrificial lamb. And it's like the lamb is sitting there all trussed up and tied up on the altar. And they're like, hey, I kind of want to change my mind. I don't want to be, I don't want to be sacrificed anymore. Clarify Hangman. And maybe they feel like, well, since I agreed to it, now I don't have a right to say anything. But forgiveness is like, you're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to think, you know what? Maybe this isn't what I thought it was. Wheel of Fortune. So this might have been somebody who needed this type of experience, because maybe they were always running after that. They wanted to be needed. They needed to be wanted. And now that they got it like times 10. And they're sitting here like, okay, thank you for the lesson, universe. Thank you. Clarify Hangman. Yeah, because I'm done being somebody's Capri Sun. Ten of Cups. And see, I love the term of the Capri Sun, because for those of you, I don't know if in other parts of the world, hold on. All right. Sorry. I don't know if in other parts of the world they have Capri Suns, but the ones I know are small little pouches. And if you're thirsty enough, you can finish it in less than 1 minute. You can suck the whole thing dry quickly. Get your mind out of the gutter. But I feel like the reason that matters is because this person does feel like that. It feels like they can never keep up with the need that this person has. It feels very, it feels never ending. Like this person is a bottomless pit, because of course that is codependency, right? When you become what the other person needs, they're not giving it to themselves. You'll never fulfill that need, because it's something that they need to give themselves. So, with the Wheel of Fortune, this was meant to be a learning lesson for this knight. They're showing up as a Knight of Wands. They probably had a really high sex drive. And they probably used to be the person that also liked their partners always being available for sex, for adventure, for whatever. Knight of Cups. And they used to glorify that, I think. They used to look at that like, well, this is love. This is how you're supposed to show love to somebody. And like I said, the 4 and the 6, once upon a time, this was emotional fulfillment. They were so happy to be somebody's Capri Sun. Like, drain me dry, both ways. Well, they might have been drained dry in several ways, actually. But this is somebody who's growing up. They're transforming. Now they want to be a king. They don't just want to be a knight. They're seeing things from a different perspective. And they don't want to be somebody's Capri Sun anymore. Clarify Three of Cups. Ooh, that's a lot of cards. We're not keeping all those. We're keeping 2. Okay, we got the King of Pentacles, the Fool, and the Hermit. Yep. Don't worry, if the other ones were supposed to come out, they'll come out again. Look at that. 5 of Cups. Yeah. This is somebody who's very done. They've gone through a large range of emotions. We've got 3, 4, 5, 6 cups. And then even in this combination, we get the 7 of Cups. We've got the 8 of Cups. We get the 9 of Cups. We get the 10 of Cups. There's a lot of emotions. And I think once upon a time, they felt that fascination with this person. They felt that yes, I love that you need me this way. I love that you want me this way. They loved it. But they're growing. They've showed up as 2 kings now. They showed up as a King of Wands over here. Now they're showing up as a King of Pentacles. With the Hermit, they're growing in wisdom. The 3 of Cups could indicate that they may have friends that they're learning from. It doesn't really matter, because honestly, their friends could be their spirit guides. What matters is that they're growing. And with the Fool card, they want to be free. This idea of being held tightly and sucked dry multiple times a day, it used to feel nice. And now it's like, I'm so exhausted. I'm so tired all the time. And not only are they tired all the time, but with the 5 of Cups, they also feel like this isn't what I wanted. There's regret. There's sorrow. And there's grief, because they're realizing, I got this person used to something that I can't actually supply. I can't sustain the promises I've made. So they do need to forgive themselves. Clarify 6 of Cups. Ooh. 2 of Cups reversed. High Priest reversed. And the Tower reversed. Wow. The 4 of Cups again. Yeah. They're kind of done. And the 5 of Cups, it was a mermaid, the one that was sad. Because I think that they see this creature like some otherworldly creature. And it's funny, we've got a lot of mermaids here today. But they might have at first been fascinated by the beauty of this person, by the physical appearance of this person. This person had a lot of allure. And maybe this vampire is a mermaid too. And they're sitting here thinking, look, as magical as you are, I don't want this anymore. I'm just sorry. But I just realized this isn't love. Like, yes, we're soulmates because you were meant to teach me a lesson. But this isn't love. And I thought it was. With the High Priest, they may have made some sort of commitment. For some, this is a marriage. For others, this is like a business contract. There's some sort of commitment that they made here. With the Tower reversed, they're trying to avoid a disaster. And they feel like if they continue, it's going to turn into a major disaster for them and to their life, multiple ways. And they're just like, I'm sorry, I don't want this anymore. Maybe they haven't said it out loud, or maybe they have. We'll see. Clarify 4 of Cups. Page of Swords. Clarify 4 of Cups. The 3 of Pentacles reversed. Clarify 4 of Cups. The 6 of Wands, the 10 of Pentacles, and the Chariot. With the 2 of Wands. No. They've said it. And I know they have, because first we have the 8 of Wands, which is communication. And the 2 of Wands. This is an Aries Mars card. When the 2 of Wands shows up, the decision's already been made. The action's now being taken to bring that decision to fruition. But this is someone who's being decisive. They already know. They already know. They understand things from a very different perspective. Three of Pentacles reversed, they feel like we're not growing. I'm not growing. This isn't going anywhere. We're staying stuck. We're staying stagnant, and I don't want this. With Six of Wands, though, and the Ten of Pentacles, this may be a couple that are, maybe they're social media influencers. Maybe they have a company together. They have a brand together. With the Ten of Pentacles, there's a lot of stability or security around this couple. And yet with the Chariot, they're also like, I can't do this anymore. I'm determined to start new. I'm determined to start fresh. I'm determined to get out. Clarify Eight of Wands. The Moon. Clarify Eight of Wands. Justice card. Yep. Three of Wands. Yep. I'm telling you. They've already made up their mind. Knight of Pentacles. See, they're showing up as multiple knights, but they're also showing up as kings. So it may be like they're in their final stage of the knight energy and stepping up into king. And this is part of them stepping up. Because they didn't understand it before. With the Moon card, they didn't get it. They didn't see how this could go wrong until they were in it. And it quickly fell apart. With the Justice card, they're going to break a contract. And this is about reducing their burden and forgiving themselves for saying, this actually isn't the life I wanted. And that's okay to say that. Here's the thing. Sometimes we make promises or vows, and it's taken very seriously. But it depends on how vows can be broken. Promises can be broken. Oaths can be broken. But it depends on the reason why it's being broken. So if this person was breaking this vow because they're being spiteful, they're being hurtful, that's different. But if they're doing it because it's for self-care and they realize, I just can't do this anymore, that's allowed. It's okay. If they're afraid they're going to accrue negative karma, they won't. Protection is here because it's them setting boundaries that's breaking the vow. So of course that's okay. If you made a promise that's going against your own self-care, yeah, that's okay to break that. With the Three of Wands, they're looking to their future. They want to build something for themselves. And they feel like this connection is not conducive to them building anything sustainable. Clarify Knight of Wands. Look at that. Again, King of Wands. Eight of Cups. Clarify Knight of Wands. Seven of Swords, Two of Swords, and the Seven of Cups. Yep. I'm telling you. Eight of Wands again. Yeah, they're definitely communicating this. They're also getting ready. I'm hearing again. I mentioned this in another collective, but I think it was on the subscriber side, so I'm going to say it here. I used to be really religious, right? I used to be a Jehovah's Witness, and Jehovah's Witnesses have this thing where they create dramas where they're reading parts of the Bible, but they make it very dramatic and it turns into like a little play, but it's audio. You can't see it, but it's like bringing the story to life so that you're not bored, right? And one of those stories that I remember listening to as a little girl was the one where the Israelites were leaving the Egyptian country where they had been enslaved, and they're playing a trumpet and it says prepárense para partir. That's what I'm hearing right now with this. And prepárense para partir is prepare to depart. So it was, they had already come out, they had prepared their tents to leave, and as soon as the Pharaoh agreed, they were like, let's go quick before he changes his mind. And they did. They took off. So I feel like this is somebody who is in that energy. They're preparing to take off. As soon as the dotted line is signed, as soon as things are in order, they're out. They're gone. Before the vampire changes its mind. Because at the Seven of Swords, they know that they need to leave. And they might do so. This Eight of Cups is in the night. They might just literally up and leave in the middle of the night without telling anyone, without letting anybody know where they went. Because that's the only way a vampire can't follow you, if it doesn't know where you are. Clarify the moon. 4 Wands. Clarify the moon. Knight of Wands. Clarify the moon. The Emperor. Queen of Wands. With the Four of Wands, this is, there's a couple of things going on here. On one hand, they did have a connection, a relationship with this vampire. They built a connection with this vampire. But the Five of Wands is here. The Knight and the Four is the Five of Wands. There's been a lot of conflict. There's been a lot of tension. It took time for the the fairy tale to fall apart, for them to realize this is a lot more draining than they thought. This is not. They had envisioned that they had pedestalized this vision until they realized everything that comes with it. Kind of like the way people do. Like, I have this personal, I guess I'd call it a pet peeve. I didn't want to call it that because it sounds like because what I'm about to say has to do with pets. People who glorify on Christmas giving away puppies and kittens, but they don't take the time to train those animals properly, or a horse or whatever. And then they end up blaming the animal when it's not well trained. That's like having a child, never raising it, never giving it instruction, and then being upset when it's misbehaving. Well, it's your job to train it. But in this one, this is a human. You can't train a human. Especially as somebody who's already have an established pattern of behavior. So this is somebody who's realizing, I glorified this. It all seemed all well and dandy until I realized everything that comes with this, all the responsibility, the burden that comes with it. And they want to release the burden. Now, I'm not going to deny that they may have their eye on someone else. But with this person, we've got the Seven of Pentacles. They feel like this is not. On the contrary, whoever Queen of Wands is, Queen of Wands energy, because I feel like this person presented themselves as Queen of Wands. Because remember, it showed up over here. Unless this Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Wands is this Queen of Wands. Because we do have 10 of Pentacles here. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Because the thing about a Queen of Wands is that they're never going to need you. On the contrary, there's somebody who might go the other way. They're hyper independent. They don't need you for nothing. But that's going to be a different type of challenge to this Emperor, to this Knight. It's going to be a different type of challenge because it'll really test their self-love. It'll really test how much they value themselves. Because somebody who's really independent, they don't need you. They'll want you. But because they don't need you, they have no problem cutting you off if you cross boundaries, if you try to control them, if you try to possess them. No. None of that is going to fly with the Queen of Wands. And they're trying to get on that level. They're trying to become a King of Pentacles. I mean, they are a King of Pentacles, but they're trying to become a King of Wands too. Because I think that this is somebody who interpreted love as being needed. And now they're realizing, no, it has more to do with being wanted. So they're going towards this Queen. Or that's where they want to go. They have to finish this over here first. Let's see the Ten of Swords. Clarify Ten of Swords. Oh, an Empress, huh? Clarify Ten of Swords. The Knight of Swords. The Four of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles, sorry. The Six of Pentacles, yeah. See, over here, they showed up with the Six of Pentacles because they keep giving and giving and giving to this vampire, right? But this Empress, this Queen of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, also shows up with the Six of Pentacles because with this one, it's equal give and take. They also give to others, which is why this person's like, I don't know what it's like. I don't know what it's like to be with someone that gives back. Which tells us that there's some things that needs to be addressed here, right? Because they don't know what it's like to be with someone who gives back. They don't know what it's like to be with someone who's independent, someone who doesn't need them. They don't know what that's like. But they're also in the energy of like, but I want to find out. All of a sudden, that looks real attractive. Because I'm done being the Capri Sun. Clarify Seven of Pentacles. The King of Swords. Clarify Seven of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles, Page of Wands. With the Star card. I feel like this person definitely looks at this Empress like they are everything they ever wanted. Just, I don't know how they're connected, because for everybody it's going to be different. It's collective. But however they connected, this person feels like they're growing just by observing this star. Just by watching the star. Because the Page of Swords reversed also means a little bit of a stalker. This High Priestess, I would say, is the Empress. They got themselves a stalker. I don't think it's a dangerous one. But they see this like this would be something real. This would be something strong. Because it's two givers coming together. At least that's how they feel. It's not really saying how the Empress feels. But with the Page of Wands, they want to try out. They want to find out what would happen. How would it go? Let's see. Let's explore. Clarify the Eight of Swords. Clarify the Eight of Swords. The Sun card. Clarify the Eight of Swords. The Nine of Swords and the Three of Swords. Wow. Wow. The Ten of Swords. Oof. Okay. So they're overthinking things. They definitely are. Because they realize that they are this vampire source of nurturing, nourishment. They are this vampire source of light. They are this vampire source of everything. Because they positioned themselves that way. They thought that this would be great, becoming this magical creature's source of everything. Now they're realizing it's not going to go well. They're about to break the heart of a vampire. And they're worried. They're worried about the repercussions because they know that this person's going to feel betrayed. Like, you promised. You promised you would always give me your blood. Maybe you promised you would always give me your money. You promised you would always give me whatever it is that they give them. They promised. And they know that this person maybe is not very forgiving. But this is like they need to forgive themselves, because I think that they really feel bad about breaking a promise. But if you're thinking about your inner child, right? And you're involved with someone who's taking a lot from your inner child. Like your inner child is like, I'm tired. Please stop this. Then we may feel bad, but we're going to have to choose between our inner child and whether this person feels bad. So it's basically, whose inner child are we going to prioritize? Because clearly this is somebody who's wounded as well. Their inner child is wounded. And the only way they feel loved is if they can drain you dry. You can't have boundaries with them. You can't have self-respect or self-love, because that's a threat to them. Well, then you have to choose between your inner child and theirs. And this tells you what kind of parent you'd be. If your child is telling you that this other child is hurting them, and you side with the other child, how's your inner child going to feel? How's your child going to feel? But I think that they've understood this, because we're at the Ten of Swords and the Death card. Even if it hurts them to say to this vampire, I don't want to be here anymore, I feel like they're going to say it. Clarify the Death card. Queen of Swords. Clarify the Death card. The Four of Pentacles and the Lovers. With the Five of Pentacles. I feel like this Empress has a platform of some sort. As in, this is somebody who maybe has a podcast. There's somebody who has a blog or a vlog, depending, a video blog. This is somebody who has, they teach in some way. Because they're seen as an authority. They're seen as somebody who's very clear. Through this person, maybe this is their mentor. But through this person, they're learning about boundaries. That's what's causing the transformation. And so they're learning to protect themselves. Through this person, they're learning that they acted this way of being needed because of their childhood wounds, because of their abandonment issues. And they're working through that. And they're realizing the reason I fantasized or I glorified the idea of a vampire feeding off of me is because I had my own wounded inner child that really needed to be needed, really, really needed to be needed. And now it's gone to the extreme where I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm draining myself dry. And now I'm learning to protect myself. I'm learning to be fierce for my inner child's sake. I'm learning to say no. And at the same time, remember that they used to feel this huge attraction for this vampire. And now they're realizing the attraction I feel is towards this other person. The idea of boundaries is suddenly like they've never been connected to a healthy connection, I feel. And having found this Empress, whether they have a platform, whatever they have, they could have a YouTube channel, whatever they have, they're feeling this like all of a sudden being connected to somebody that's self-aware, somebody that has boundaries, somebody that's, independent, nurturing and nourishing as well, giver. Now this is sexy to them. This is attractive to them. But they know that them wanting this also hurts the vampire because it's everything the vampire is not. Clarify High Priestess. The Death card. See, I'm telling you. Clarify High Priestess. Page of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. See, I told you. Second time. Sorry, my allergies are acting up. Second time we see a star card. This person has a platform of some sort. And it could be as easy as, it doesn't have to be like this big old thing. It could be that this person has a local radio station that they get on, they talk about. Yeah, maybe they're a therapist that goes on there, gives tips on things. There's multiple ways that they could be the star. It could be somebody who wrote a book or somebody who does TED Talks. It doesn't really matter. The death card is associated twice with this high priestess, star, empress person. They are helping somebody transform. They're helping somebody change. Somebody became a student, listening, and it's lit up this fire within them of saying, I don't have to take this. I don't have to put myself in this position to feel loved. I don't have to be somebody's Capri Sun to know that I'm wanted.